YouTube, what's going on? Horse Racing Gamer here. Welcome to a new series, Final Stretch Horse Racing Sim 1. This is the predecessor to Horse Racing Manager 2. This is the game that I grew up playing. This is the first well, I actually said the first game that has harness horse racing that I ever grew up, because there's not a whole lot of them, not a whole lot of legitimate ones. I know there's a couple on mobile. They're okay. But I think in terms of an actual gameplay experience, this game and obviously Horse Racing Manager 2 are the best. So, we're going to go ahead and do a stable mode here. I want to do it on hard, but I think what I'm thinking about doing for Horse Racing Manager 2, it depends. I am going to start this on hard and see how far we can get going. I think it's a little easier in this game to play on hard than Horse Racing Manager 2. Now, there have been somebody has actually done some patches for the game and whatnot. So that's something to consider. Not for this game, I should say, but for Horse Racing Manager 2. He's done some patches and whatnot. And the harness horse racing mode in there, his patches I think did improve. I suck at the game on any difficulty outside of normal. So for me, I like to play any horse racing game on the hardest difficulty. If I can't, I just don't enjoy it. So I like to be challenged, but at the same time, I like for it to be a fair challenge, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I'll talk more about that later in the episode. So we're starting here, and some of you guys probably have played this, some of you have not. So, like I said, we're going to be doing harness horse racing, which in this game will be referred to as trotting. In Horse Racing Manager 2, I will be playing a series in that with the thoroughbred mode. I actually quite enjoy it in that game. Of course, it's not like Gallop Racer or Champion Horse Racing or anything else, but it's a little bit of a different aspect. And like I said, the thoroughbred mechanics for me are much more balanced than the harness horse racing one, even before any patches or updates. And like I said, I don't mind it. So we're going to do harness horse racing. Now, we're going to go somewhere that is favorable for us, probably with not a lot of competition, because this game's already on hard. We want to be somewhere where we can do relatively well, and then, of course, we'll give ourselves an opportunity to race in the more competitive places. So, if we want to sort this by trotting, obviously see which countries have trotting. Now, if we want to sort this by competition, weather is not favorable in Germany. Setup cost is pretty high. But in terms of competition, Germany or Canada seem like the best. Canada actually wouldn't be too bad. Competition is only at 60. The setup cost is 95 though, and then the weather is neutral. Next best place would be Italy. Competition's at 70. Setup cost again high, but the weather is favorable. Australia, I think last time I checked, Australia was actually the most rounded place to go. Obviously 70 for trot. It's not bad. Winnings, that's not a big deal. Competition's 70, so it's up there, but not the toughest. Setup cost is 75, and the weather's favorable. So I think we'll probably go to Australia. I was thinking about Canada too. Like I said, I just don't like the fact that the setup cost is also much higher, as well as weather's only neutral. And we're already going to be dealing with setup cost here. So right out the gate, I'm going to look for something that is hopefully affordable. I think we only need 2 horses. That's kind of my startup to go to in every game. And actually, hold on, as I'm looking at this, let's see, where else was I looking? I think I was looking at Canada, just because the competition there is a little bit more doable. I just want to see if these prices are that much cheaper. 42, okay. Poor soil quality though. We could maybe do, where is it at? Here, in the whereabouts of Edmonton in a breeding region. Lower horses follow-up costs are higher for infrastructure costs, I said. Poor soil quality, increased risk of structures closes, lower infrastructure, 4 boxes. We'll have to upgrade everything else, but for 42K, that's not bad. Competition's a little bit less, so I think we'll have a chance to win easier. Now we'll go with our threads. So for here, our stable, what do I usually go with? I cannot remember what I usually go with for my stable names, because they changed quite a bit. Owner's name, of course, my name will just be Eric. Actually, what does go? Horse, go HRG Racing. Horse Racing Gamer Racing. That actually sounds confusing. What does go? Let's go HRG stable. Our colors, I'm going to go with the channel colors. Let's see how the pink and let's see sleeves. I want to go with black cap. We'll go with yellow with the pink if it works. Actually, pink in this game looks kind of ugh too. The red looks way better. I guess we'll do black and pink. That's or actually we can do black and yellow maybe. These sleeves. There's the polka dots. Let's see. And we'll go with the stars. And as far as this midsection is concerned, I mean that's not terrible. Go with the 3. Keep forgetting we could also do the green as well. Oh, that's nice. Totally forgot about the green. I actually like that. I think I do. I don't want to jump the gun yet, because you know sometimes I feel like I like something and then I get bored of it or I get sick of it a little while after. But I actually think I'm okay with this design. I think. No, something looks a little weird. I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm not sure. I'm excited to play this game though. It's obviously it's different since it's older, but of course, I mean I don't really care how old the horse racing game is as long as it's fun and enjoyable. That is all I care about. And it's fair. That's the main thing as well. As long as it's fair and it's balanced, I mean I'm not too concerned about how old it is in all honesty. You know what, we'll just stick with that. So those are our racing silks and colors. You have to choose at most 3 colors. Oh, I chose 4. Oops. There we go. Wait, 1. Oh, I had 5 instead. Oh, let's see. I need the pink and the yellow. I want the green in there as well. Why are they? That's so weird. You can only choose 4 colors. I mean 3 colors. That's extremely goofy. So I can't have the green. If I want to do pink, yellow, let's see. What if I do yellow here? That means I'm gonna have to get rid of the black. Like I said, that's weird. I don't know why that's even a thing, but the game is the game. Let's see. The green and the yellow on top is gonna look quite interesting. So how does the pink cap look? Oh, the pink isn't too bad. The pink and the green looks kind of funny though. I mean the pink cap by itself isn't awful, but I think I'll stick with the green. Yeah, I think I'll stick with all green, because the green and the yellow, I mean, nah. I'm gonna stick with the green. There we go. There's our silks. We'll roll with it. Alright, so here we go. I was going to live stream this, but I decided I wanted to at least have the first episode be of me getting through everything. I know sometimes the live streams it's easy to get sidetracked, and for people that don't get to watch the live stream, you know, it's not fair to them if we're taking forever to get the video started. So all of this is just kind of whatever. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's basically saying welcome to the game. There's structures and staff and all this other stuff you got to do. I mean, it's typically what every horse racing game says once you've created your silks and you get into the game. And then it kind of tells you where things are at on the screen, which I'm going to be showing and telling you guys anyway. So at the bottom, you can see here we have $200,000, which I'm going to be very diligent about, because going bankrupt in this game, especially if you're not winning, is very easy to do, like in Gallop Racer 3 and Gallop Racer 2001, as it is in Horse Racing Manager 2 as well. So this envelope here in the top right corner, this is where you'll see ads in the paper for horses that may be up for sale, that may be listed. Yada blase, of course. I forgot about the barking dog. News, this will be just typical news related things from your performance and maybe some others. Agenda, right here. Agenda will also have important things that you'll need to take care of, like appointments, your upcoming races, etc. Information as well. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Tell you different things about your horses, your staff, your most recent results, anything about your buildings, your finances, all of that. So You look at the trophy here in the very far left. This is obviously the results tab. Shows you different results for stables, jockeys, horses, races, etc. This money icon to the right of it here is obviously your budget. You can take out a loan. I used to be in a really bad habit of borrowing like the most money in this game. It's still going bankrupt just because I was not good at managing at all. And keep in mind, I was playing this when I was like in 8th grade. So I was not thinking intelligently when it came to playing this. I was just kind of just doing like wild things. But we're going to play much smarter now. Obviously, I'm much older. I'm twice as old as I was when I first started playing. So we'll manage our money. I won't take out a loan unless we absolutely need it. This blue icon right here, this is where you can search for your staff, which you will have to do. Next icon to it, the house icon, is the buildings for your stable, essentially, for your entire organization, as far as all the different places you need to buy, different structures from, more boxes, staff buildings, a paddock, a hangar. All that stuff is bought pretty much through here. This icon is where the race calendar is. It'll show you different races if they pop up on here. You'll see your entries if you have any. You'll see all the different tracks, which I do like. It actually gives you a 3D image of all the tracks. So since we're doing trotting, you'll see the tracks. It'll tell you the record and where you start. So there's, I believe, 10 different trotting tracks we'll be able to compete on here in Canada. There's Montreal, Quebec, Windsor, Kingston, so on and so forth. So it gives you an idea of the tracks. Like I said, which is cool. So you have an idea of the different surfaces you'll be encountering, the different distances, all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. Got your weekend races if you want to go see and wager there. It's always a thing. So yeah, that is that. And last but not least, the horse icon obviously shows you all your horses that you have. You'll be able to set up your training, do follow-ups, breeding, which I did breed in this. I used to do it, but I never got to a point where I actually got to race my horses because I always ended up going bankrupt by the time they were finally ready. There's sales in here. Obviously, you can purchase. You can do comparisons of your horses. So it's quite in depth. It's quite in depth considering this game is, I don't know how old at this point, almost 2 decades worth. But yeah. So what we're gonna do first we're gonna look for horses, which may seem counterintuitive, but we're gonna look for horses first, and then we'll look for our staff. So I want to do. I was gonna check something else out beforehand. Stable info. Okay. So let's go to purchase tab. Now you can purchase horses in 2 different ways here. You can purchase them through ads, or you can purchase them through public auctions. I never really played around with the auctioning thing in this game. I wasn't aware of how auctioning worked, obviously at a younger age, so I didn't do it. We will do it in here. I don't think I'm gonna do it right now, of course. Like here are horses that are 1 year old, obviously. I think in this game they start racing at 3. No, they start racing at 2, actually. I take that back. Some games it's not like that. But here, they do start racing at 2. But you can go to the auction and buy some horses at 1 year old. I'm not going to do that now. I'll wait till we get rolling and we're really situated to then go to the auction and kind of play around with that. Of course, they have the claiming race. You can attend those, which I may do. Sometimes you get some steals at a claiming race. But let's go ahead and see. We're going to sort this by trotter. I don't care what gender. Preferably listed or a group 3. Because obviously, as you go up higher, they're more expensive. And yeah, I could pay for a really expensive horse, but you guys know that's not how I play. These games, we're going to look for a listed horse. Try to win, try to build up a profile with that horse, and then eventually, if we're able to, get some decent money, we'll try buying a higher ranked horse. So yeah, well, I mean, we need to be able to win. Buying an expensive horse is pointless if we can't win with it. So there's 6 trotters we can buy here. We got 5 females and only 1 male. So let's go ahead and look at endurance. That's one of the main things I want. Now, the best horse with the best endurance so far looks to be 3-year-old filly by the name of Z Alpine. She's got 2 wins, 1 second place, 1 third. I'm liking that so far. The price she's going off at about 9K, so it's not terrible. Um, 3 years old, so we can work with her for quite a bit. And here she is. Winnings this year about 4 grand. Career gains 36,000. Her form is at 84%. Her speed's only 38. Her acceleration is only 30. Her technique and adaptability are terrible. Both are below 15. Her discipline is 64, which isn't bad. So she's not a bad filly. Quality of her horseshoe is not the greatest. Position-wise, she prefers to be on the right side of the track position. We don't know. These preferences will become unlocked as we race with her more, but we're going to go ahead and acquire her. And I do want to get a male, and this is Run for Whiskey. He's also not bad. In fact, he appears to have a better record. He's got 4 wins, 1 place, 3 shows. Winnings this year is only $400, but his career gains, I should say, is 38,000. Statistically, his initial resistance and discipline are both at 78, which is pretty solid. His adaptability is 48, which isn't terrible. His technique is 25, which is better than Z Alpine's. His excel is only 33, which isn't great. His speed is 44, not the best. But like I said, we'll get him. Now, his preferences, he has a lot more unlocked. Sometimes they do. He likes to be on the right. Ground surface, he likes for it to be, or actually the ground, he likes for it to be light. Surface, he likes to run on the sand. Distance, short. He doesn't want a companion, no blinkers, but he does want earplugs. So there he is. So let's go ahead and look at our 2 horses now. We got Z Alpine, 3-year-old filly, and then we got Run for Whiskey, 7-year-old male. He's up there in age. So yeah, for Z Alpine, we got to figure out what she's gonna like as far as her preferences. So let me go ahead and put these horses in my spreadsheet right quick. So we got Z Alpine. Like I said, don't know what distances she likes or anything, so we're gonna have to take some time figuring that out. Fortunately, Run for Whiskey, being that he's older, he's already gotten his preferences ID'd. So distance, short, track on the right. Surface. Let me see. Surface. He likes the sand. Ground, he likes light. Sorry, just trying to fix this one thing. Okay, now she likes on the right. Okay, so next thing we'll do, we'll go ahead and acquire some staff here. And staff-wise, obviously you want to get good staff. Everybody's playing styles are different. Some people go for the most expensive. Some people go for the cheapest. Some people obviously go for a good balance of both. Staff does play a pretty vital role in how everything is obviously orchestrated when it comes to different aspects of, maybe the training center for your trainers, just the efficiency overall of everything that you're doing. The staff does have a pretty vital role in that. So we're going to get into that in 1 second. I just have to step away to handle a message, but do not go anywhere. Okay, so we need a staff at every position. We need an assistant, lad, maintenance staff, staff manager, stableman, and trainer. Like I said, more organization is important. Morale is also important. Salary as well. You got to keep in mind you'll be paying these people their salaries every week. So if you go for the most expensive, you better hope that you're winning, and you're winning quite large. Because eventually, I would say the biggest part of what can enable you to go bankrupt in this game is just you're paying out these really high salaries if you want the best staff right off the bat. So in terms of organization, I'm kind of looking for somebody that we can kind of get at a good price, maintenance staff that should also still be relatively good as far as the morale is concerned. Because the cheapest we can pay is $257. So I think we're gonna go ahead and hire Zoe Mosley as our maintenance staff. He's got 56 for morale, so that's not terrible. Let's see. Now we actually need to look for a good assistant. A couple of assistants here. Let's see. We can get Neil Gotti. I recall having him back when I played the game when I was younger. He was pretty good as an assistant, so we'll hire him. We need a lad here, and there's a lot of them. As far as a lad is concerned, we'll get Lewis Bridge or Grid, or Grib Escude. Of course, this game is a lot of French names in here, so I'm going to be butchering plenty of these, so hopefully nobody takes offense. We'll get Lewis Bridge here for a lad. We need a staff manager. There's only 3 to choose from. We'll just get the cheapest one, Mohammed Kazar. We need a stableman. Pretty much the same ordeal. They even sometimes they're not available here, but there is a couple. We'll get Fabrice Johnson. And then trainer-wise, I'm gonna make sure I get a decent trainer. Jackie Plaza. Actually, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can look at their individual stats. As far as the trainers are concerned, you can see how well they are at different things, like what their rating is for training your horses and conditioning, what their rating is for developing your horse's speed, what is their rating for developing your horse's endurance, so on and so forth. So, obviously, if you look at Bill Murrett here, technique is 96, which is really good. Acceleration is 87. That's awesome. So, Bill's going to specialize in your horse's technique and their acceleration. If you look at Jackie Plaza here, her technique is not good at all, which means our horses may be more prone to breaking, which obviously you don't want when it comes to harness horse racing. She's not terrible. She's good at resting your horses, which is also very important because they can get injured very easily in this game. Fitness is 61, endurance is 67, so not terrible. And then we look at Pedro. Pedro's good at acceleration with a 62 rating and speed at a 93, but endurance is a 9, and I do not want to deal with endurance. So I'm going to go ahead and get with Jackie here. And I believe that's it for our staff, so let's go ahead and see. And of course, which is also cool about this game, you can actually, increase your employees' salaries, obviously, if they're doing well. You can also fire them if they're not performing for you. You can also choose the staff, or you can choose the attitude that you have, obviously, towards your stat. If you want to be an authoritarian, you can do that. If you want to be directional, if you want to be a participant or a delegate. Me personally, in real life, I'm definitely not directional or or authoritarian at all. I've never been that way. I've always been a delegate, or I like to participate with the people that have worked with me, who have been considered employees for me in some business ventures. That's just my approach. I like actually being able to work with the people that I'm working with. I like to have that good relationship and connection. I don't like to be on a power trip. I don't have an ego, so these two at the bottom do not correlate with me at all. I would say a participant is how I will be towards the staff, because realistically that's how I would be anyways. I wouldn't just sit by the sidelines and let them do everything. I would also chip in. So staff wise, we got that all planned out. Planning, let's see. Now you can obviously delegate different you can delegate the importance of different things for your staff, like the horse's food, the training, how much time they're utilizing with that, and how efficient they are. You can delegate the morale. You can delegate lower maintenance costs. So for me right now, I want obviously everything to be balanced, a little bit in both. Obviously. Now, we're going to keep it like this for now until we get more buildings and see what else we want to do. So horse training, you can delegate, obviously. Training efficiency, I have 2 horses, so I want to make sure both Z Alpine and Run for Whiskey are trained well. I'll do the same thing for horses' food, and then I'll just leave this one block of free time open. So that is how the staff will handle the different tasks, from the horses training to the building maintenance. Let's go ahead and look at the buildings. Now, to buy a structure, I'm keeping the 2 boxes. We don't need any more right now. Staff buildings, this increases the efficiency of your maintenance staff. This is definitely going to be worth it. You got a horsemanship, which increases your fame. I don't care about that right now. You got a paddock. This improves the efficiency of the rest periods, which is pretty vital, obviously. And then you got a hangar, which reduces the cost of food. So right now we're going to focus on getting, obviously, staff buildings. will get this for level 1. You'll have to upgrade these over time, which will improve the efficiency of it. So we'll buy that, and then we'll also buy a paddock to increase the efficiency of our rest periods. I'll hold off on the hangar for now. As far as the feed cost is concerned, I don't want to spend too much money right now. We'll work with that. So, those are our buildings. We'll improve them as we go along. As far as maintenance is concerned, you see how much it's going to cost us for maintenance. It's only $49 for the 2 boxes, which is great. Total salary for maintenance staff is $250 or $257. An organization, the maintenance staff is $374. Speaking of finances, let's look at our analysis. So our financial position is excellent. Your cash reserves are sufficient to cover your weekly expenses for approximately 53 weeks. Having no outstanding loan gives you some leverage with your banker for difficult financial times. To ensure incurring income, I advise that you invest in a clubhouse in order to open horses for boarding services. Now that is something very important that you can do in this game. We're not at that point yet, and I'll see if we can get there eventually. So give me a second here, guys. Alright, I'm back. So, as you can see, financially we're in a good position right now, which is good. Income of the week, we have no income of the week. Our expenses at the end of this week is going to be 51K, but that's only because we obviously bought those buildings. So our weekly expenses, from my understanding, if you take that out, really shouldn't be any more than 3K, which is very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these horses in a race. Okay. Sorry guys, just got some important messages. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get Z Alpine in a race. I could set up her training. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do now. That would make more sense. Which is a good thing about the training type in here as well, is that you can train for their strengths and their weaknesses. Obviously, I do like that aspect about horse racing games. I think it's one of the only things Gallop Racer has missed as a whole series is the training aspect. You just run your horses and that's it. That is one thing I do like about Champion Horse Racing. They do have some training elements in there. So you can train your horses through 3 different options. You can train them at the training center, you can train them with a trainer, or you can train them with the lad. And yeah, the training center I actually never really did growing up, so that's something I may experiment with once I get to that point. Now the trainer, obviously you can give your trainer orders. This is also something I completely kind of skipped out on as far as delegating, you know, how much duration and time you want spent in certain categories. Now looking at Z Alpine here, I actually need to figure out what is best for her. Her technique and her adaptability definitely need to be worked on, and as well as her acceleration. So I'm gonna put this in my notes. Let me see: tech, adapt, and excel. Just because those are so low. Now, as far as run for whiskey, he's okay. I would say his technique for sure needs to be worked on. His excel, and I'm okay with the rest for now. Just to kind of, we'll see how he performs in the races to see what needs to actually be changed. So for Z Alpine, we're gonna make sure right now we got to focus on preferences. And I did put excel, technique, and then adaptability, which I think is under the same category as behavior. So we're going to drop endurance and speed just a little bit. We got to get her preferences together. So we're putting a huge emphasis on that. Her acceleration is not good either. I want a lot of emphasis placed on preferences. We got to figure out exactly what she likes. Her technique has also got to be good. Her acceleration will have to improve, but we're just going to have to wing it for now. So that's what we'll do with her as far as the trainer is concerned. And as far as run for whiskey is concerned, Just need to work on his technique and his acceleration. So his preferences are already good. So we're going to drop 5 from preferences, put 5 into acceleration. As far as technique is concerned, we'll drop 5 from speed, put 5 in technique. So we got their training set up. Let's go ahead and see if we can actually get them in a race here. I was going to look at something else, but we don't know anything about what Z Alpine wants to do as far as her running is concerned. So for starters, I'm going to try her out in a shorter race because her endurance is still not great for the longer races at all. We'll try her out at 1,400 meters, some furlongs. This will be on the dirt, 3-year-olds and up. So we'll make our declaration. We'll find a jockey. Of course, we'll be controlling our horse. Now, I'm not going to pay an arm and a leg for a jockey. Not yet, at least. I'll wait till we get to that point. We look at experience here. You obviously see. We'll pay for a jockey kind of middle of the road. Let's see. Flexible, firm. Just trying to look to see. Accommodating. Well, we'll try James Bricard. Seems to be accommodating here. He's got over 1.5 in earnings. Control 61, experience is 10, so he's kind of middle of the road there. Cost 580. So we'll do that for Z Alpine. I'll run for whiskey. We know that he likes short distances on the sand, so we got to look. Most of these races should be in sand. Some are in dirt. And obviously, like I said, short distance. So here's a good race right here. Big race of champions. 1,500 meters on the sand. No conditions, 6-year-olds and up. This should be good. This should be good for them. And again, we'll look for, I could hire the same jockey, but same driver, excuse me. But I think what we're going to do is we'll hire somebody else just to get some flexibility, just to see how things will go. We'll look for somebody. Let's see, who will we get? We'll try Yomoji da Costa, laid back jockey. Will cost us 610. So those are our two. I keep saying jockeys. I'm so used to playing these thoroughbred games. Drivers here. For Z Alpine to run for whiskey. Z Alpine is going to be running next month, April 17th. Run for whiskey will be running in 2 weeks on the 20th. So we'll be able to see how he does. We got him on the right track. Surface. Short distance at 1,500 meters, one of the shortest distances in this game. Now, the track itself is Windsor. I got to make sure. He likes to run on the right. Both of them do. So, let's see. Windsor. There's Windsor. And fantastic. In fact, I think all these tracks are on the right anyways, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. Yeah, I think all these tracks are on. Oh, okay. So, Al Amer is actually a track that's not on the right. Oh, I just thought about that. Did I put, okay, no, I put Z Alpine in a track, on the, Elmira track. Okay. Let's just make sure. Elmira. Oh, this is left. See, this is not good. So, I don't want to run her on a track like this. I may have to scratch her from that race if I can. Yeah, we'll unsign her from that race. She definitely wants to run on the right, so we got to find her a track that's suitable for that. I'm going to need to put this in my spreadsheet so I don't do this. I don't make this a mistake too often. One second, guys. So we gotta look for tracks on the right here. Let's see, Charlotte's Town. Is that how that's said? Let's see, tracks on right. As always, appreciate a lot of support. I forgot to say that in the beginning of this video. Of course, on the channel, I'm excited to be playing this again. A lot of this is also nostalgia for me, just because this is how I grew up. This is the first, harness horse racing game I was able to play growing up. Like I said, it's not like we have a whole lot of options, so this was fun. And the AI mechanics are much better in this game than HRM2. Obviously, with patches aside, the mechanics are much better. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit easier. And obviously, HRM2 is like great. think I don't want people thinking I hate the game or something. It's just I played it for a long time without any patches, and it just got, it just kind of exhausted you. Like sometimes once you get to that point, it's really not a whole lot that can bring you back to wanting to go through that again. I played that game a lot through all the frustration. I think a lot more than some of you may understand. I played a lot off screen. I played a lot on another channel that's not even connected to this one. So I played that game like a bunch in its worst stages, and I just got completely exhausted. So that's really the main reason why I don't want to go back into the harness horse racing mode in that game, unless I do it on easy. At the same time, if I were to do that and we excel and we dominate, then I'm going to want to go up to the next difficulty. That's another thing. The game is playable for me on easy. Still has its issues, but you guys know me. I don't want to necessarily do that. Okay, I had to get all those races down. Apologize for that. So let's get Z in another race here. Now we're looking at tracks. Like I said, we want to look for distance, a shorter distance at first. Elmira is not a good track for her. Windsor, we can do Windsor. 1,400 meters on the sand. Big race of West. It's not all the way till June, though. It's quite a layoff. I would like to get her in a race sooner. And there's mounted races in here, too. Not my cup of tea. Actually, let's just make sure we look for type here. Golly. I guess we should just stick to the date. Trying to get her something quick here. It's 3,000. She doesn't have the endurance to run some of these races. Like, not at all. Amir, we can't run that track. Dang it. So we're going to have to run her at like 2,500 meters, which I do not want to do at all. That's such a long distance. I don't think she's going to be able to handle that. 3,000 is also very long. Like, I mean, I just want to see how she performs in her first race. I don't mind giving her months in between a race if it's going to be ideal for her, because look at these winnings. These winnings are pretty big. 22K, pretty much the minimum, up to 81. So these earnings are definitely worth it to put your horse in the right race. So, it's not like Gallop Racer where you just enter your horse in every race you can. Like I said, I want to get her racing sooner, so I guess I'll try her out at 3K. Not ideal. Yeah, we'll try her out. Like I said, it's not really what I want to do. Conditions are handicap. We'll try this one. Charlottetown. And we'll get that jockey James, whatever his name was, James Regard. Okay. We got her in the right race. Run for Whiskey is good. We'll go ahead and fast forward next week. And we're up for Run for Whiskey. We should be to... Wait, can I go to the race or is it going to skip it for me? Forgot how it works sometimes in this game. Go to the next event. There we go. No? Can I go to the next event? Here we go. All right. We're on race 4 here. Yeah, we're on race 4 here. 6 years old, 6-year-olds and up. You can bet on other races on the card, which is really nice. We'll just go ahead and sim to my race, of course. So here we are. Like I said, you can register to bet. You can also see and participate, which is what we're going to do. So we're here for Windsor. It is 1,500 meters, very short. It's a big race of champions on the sand. And it's a field of 14. We got gate position number 9, post position number 9 here for Run for Whiskey. Let's go ahead and kind of look at the field to see what they're saying. You can't actually see the odds like you do in Horse Racing Manager 2 unless you're betting. So in terms of statistically speaking, classifications, we're not looking too, I'm not sure. Not sure if we're looking too good. Yeah, I think we're at the bottom of the field as far as our horse's stats are concerned, and we can just look at the field just to get an idea for that in general. Kind of skim through these horses. Their stats are on the right. I mean, yeah, Irish Bandit, this horse, 79 technique, 46 speed, or 47 speed, 46 acceleration, not bad. So yeah, we're not looking too great, but we'll see how he does. So you can, I believe this is to watch. You can obviously watch the AI race with your horses, which is good. I don't know why that wasn't an option originally in Horse Racing Manager 2. And then you can obviously participate in the race yourself, which is what I'm going to be doing here. Okay, so we'll get a good start here. And we are off and pacing. Pretty good start here for Run for Whiskey. Now don't want him to go that fast. Just going to send him out to the front. We're going to try to move him inside here. We are moving inside. Losing a little too much speed. I'm using the arrow keys, which I got to get used to. I'm not doing so much. I can use them for the left and the right. Sometimes for the acceleration, they jump up really big, obviously. So I'm trying to move him in here. Oh, man. This game brings back so many memories, man. The nostalgia. I remember exactly where I was. I remember my exact setup. Everything. It was so fun. So we're using quite a bit of stamina. Of course, his endurance isn't great. It says endurance is not great at all. So he's already halfway through. We're not even halfway through the race, and part of that is my fault for having him go so fast initially in the beginning. I definitely should have had him pace himself a little bit better, because you see what these horses are riding: 47 kilometers an hour, 44. Pace is fast. It says we're running hard, but we're not running too fast. Obviously, they are running pretty darn fast. And I don't even know if we're going to whip. I obviously don't want to break. So yeah, we'll keep him at this pace for now. It's fine. Keep him at this pace for now. He's not going to, I mean, in terms of lasting till the end of the race, I still don't think stamina's going to... Actually, we may be able to outlast some of these horses just based off of braking alone. It's stamina. So we'll go ahead and get him going now. Watch, his stamina's just gonna drain. Oh, I forgot. I cannot have him go full speed. I totally forgot that that can happen. Well, that is a goofy, honest mistake by me. I was just trying to increase his acceleration a little bit, and again, I hit the key instead of doing it with my actual mouse, because the key will send it straight up to the fastest point. That's not what I wanted to do at all. So we brake first with Run for Whiskey. That's not a good performance. We could have finished better than that. We weren't going to finish in the money. It says, comments from the jockey says he was well placed, which should say driver. Well placed ahead of the stretch, but broke in the finish. The horse was nervous in the paddock, but as soon as we got to the starting gate, he regained his posture, or composure, excuse me. Okay, so that's my fault for hitting the key. I didn't want to do that. We'll sim all these races. But I'm confident we'll have a better showing once we get his stamina together. So you click down here on this icon, it shows you your results. It says Run for Whiskey. Finished 14th, which we obviously know. Now we'll go back to training here to, actually we need to go to see what his stats are looking like. I probably should write these down too, just to see if he actually improves, because I'm really not going to know. But I'll do that after the video. There's quite a few things I need to put in my notes. So what does have him training, I guess? As far as training preparation is concerned, let's see. We'll have him rest here. Actually, what's his stamina at? 78. Let's see. Now you can see certain things are going to cost training-wise. Now I said I wanted to work on his acceleration, which is for free, and then his technique, which is also free, so that's good. So we'll work on those two. His preferences are okay. And we'll try to get him a race probably in May. So we're just going to train him all April. Try to improve endurance as well. Yeah, we'll have him do we'll just have him train acceleration, technique, endurance. Give him 1 week of rest. Pretty sure if you train them too much, obviously, they will not pan out too well. So, pre-race preparation. Obviously, as you can see, we got 1 more week here for Z Alpine to make her debut. And obviously you see where the trainers are going to focus her. But let's go ahead and go to the next event. Here we are. We're in race 1. Let's see. Actually, we can register for bets. We don't even have to bet just to see what our odds are going to be. Z Alpine. Let's look. In terms of the odds are concerned, wow, we are actually not looking too bad here. Now, I'm not really familiar with decimal odds as far as you know, the betting and the pools are concerned, but obviously I know the lower I know the lower obviously to number 1 the better. So we're not looking too bad here today. Let's actually look to see what's being talked about. So Betting Mag isn't talking about Z Alpine, neither is latest news. Crafty? None of you are talking about my baby. How dare you? El Dominguez. You can pay $30 and know the tips. He thinks Cold Prince is going to win. Ricardo, you can pay $20 from this bookmaker. They both think Cold Prince. Now Z Alpine. Now we dropped. I do like that about this game as well. The numbers do shift. I forgot how much time you have, but they do change, which is quite cool. So you see the pool, obviously, and I forgot how long it lasts, but I do like that it actually changes. You got some wagering options. Like I said, this game is really, really cool considering how old it is, and it's the first game. I think there were some things in this game that were done much better than Horse Racing Manager 2. Anyways, we'll race with Z Alpine again. And like I said, we can watch the AI. I will feel more confident racing with my horses once I get to that point. Very good start. Not to mention, you know, I do want to actually play. So very good start for Z Alpine. This race is 3,000 meters, so we're definitely going to just have to try to hope that we can keep up with the pack here. And when I say try, try means try because I don't want her to burn out. It's a very long race, so I got to monitor her stamina because her endurance isn't that great. Because they're all running 41-41, so my hope is if we can keep her just below that, she should have enough to last for a late run. Like I said, I'll have to make sure I monitor the speed. We'll keep her at the back here. I could have gotten her out a little bit faster, but like I said, she doesn't have the endurance. We really have to be careful with that. And obviously you see what happens when you're running your horse harder than you need to in this game. The endurance does play a key. She does play a key, excuse me. She's slowly catching the field. When I say slowly, I mean slowly. We got to go once all the way around. In case some of you aren't familiar with the interface of this game, obviously this is your speed meter. It's in kilometers per hour instead of miles per hour. I don't know if you can actually change that in this game. It's not a big deal. Here's your win icon. It shows you obviously how much wind is on the track. So probably I want to save stamina and the wind here. If you move it to blue, you're reducing the amount of stamina she's losing to win. If you move it to red, I believe it's the stamina. So we'll have it on the blue and the red. And obviously underneath the speed meter here, you have your endurance. You can obviously see it started green. Now it's in the yellow. Red is obviously when you're super tired. And the bar underneath this, which is really, really hard to see, is this white bar. It's actually the duration of the race. So we're going to try to move her up to 41 kilometers an hour because I actually totally wasn't paying attention to the field, and I see how far back we are now. Like I said, she doesn't have the stamina for this. I just had to run her. I just wanted to run her in a race just to see how she would do. And like I said, she clearly doesn't have the stamina. But I feel confident about these two horses that we got. I think just running the shorter... I didn't even know somebody was behind me. What? Where did you come from? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even know this horse was behind me. Holy crap. Well, we're halfway through the race, and she has half of her stamina left. So I'm hoping some of those horses will break or some of them will tire out. And some of them, it says they're riding too fast. So like I said, hopefully 46 kilometers an hour. That's insane. And they could just have really good stamina. We're running her easy at 41 because she doesn't have the endurance to go any faster. If I increase her endurance, she's going to gas out. So I'm going to keep her here and just hope that we catch a couple of horses in the stretch. This was a test race. We're not going to be running her at this distance. We'll wait months in between to run her in ideal races. At least with shorter distances, I should say. Yeah, we will wait for sure. Now, I can't tell if I'm really catching the field or not. I feel like I am, but I can't exactly tell. Distance-wise, we're still good. We're going to make a really last-minute rally here, and I cannot believe there's actually a horse behind us. That's super funny. I'm thinking I'm just back here by myself coasting, and no. So yeah, like I said, her stamina is bad. I'm well aware I could be running her closer, but like her stamina is garbage. Running her any faster, any closer, we would be out of this race. We at least have a chance now in the stretch to make a run. As you can see, we're kind of catching the field and we're not even doing anything. They're just gassing out because they were running like maniacs a majority of that race. So 500 meters left to go. Now we'll start to get her moving up here and see if she can make a last minute run and catch some horses in the stretch. She's still dealing with the wind here. And now that horse is just going to go right past us. I don't want her to brake. The braking meter is on the right or on the left as well. It says red meter, so you do have to monitor that as far as your speed is concerned. But the distance may have been too much, which is fine. I was aware we were going to have a lot, but like I said, 3,000 meters is not ideal for this horse at all. Not at all. At a shorter distance, I think we'll definitely have a chance. She just tired out. Didn't break. We beat 2 horses? Nope, 1 horse. We beat 1 horse. Wow. That's as expected. Like I said, nothing was going to happen in that race. That was just literally a test to see how she was going to do. And like I said, the distance itself was just too long. If I were to run her faster than 41 kilometers an hour, clearly you see she would have gassed out. So that wasn't going to be an option. But at least I know now. At least I know. So construction of the staff building is complete at level 1, which is exciting. Like I said, I'm going to have to write all these stuff down. We definitely got to improve the endurance of these horses. That's a must. That for sure is a must. We got to improve the endurance and the stamina of the horses. Yeah, because 39 to 40, it's not terrible. But if you want to look at horses you can buy with pretty good stamina. I don't want to sell these horses. I meant to go to purchase. Wow, there's no horses available this week. That's crazy. But you look at a horse with good stamina. Okay, this horse, which is a, I'm assuming, Group 1 national horse. Of course, it costs $418,000, but the endurance is at 75. That horse can handle, this horse right here, Emil, he can handle that 3,000 meters. My horses cannot handle that distance. Both of them can, clearly. So like I said, we're going to have to stick them to the shorter races, which was, with Run for Whiskey, we definitely could have performed well in. Like I said, I accidentally pressed my keys instead of using the mouse, so he broke. So let's actually look at the training here. So like I said, Run for Whiskey is going to be training technique, endurance. The Alpine, we'll probably have her do the same. I'll be monitoring these things. But guys, that's going to do it for this first episode of Horse Racing Manager. I'm excited to play this game long term. Excited to get back into it. I know eventually we'll get a win. It's just finding the right race for our horses and a pace that we can obviously run with without gassing them out. We are going to have to improve their endurance. That probably should be the priority for me. I'm not really worried about their technique or behavior. I mean, as long as you monitor the speed, they're not going to break. So for me, I think the acceleration and the endurance is the most important thing. Yes, speed would be nice, but at the end of the day, if your horse has got the stamina to last, as you can see, you can catch the field and potentially pass horses as long as you have extra endurance. Of course, Z Alpine in the last race, like I said, she doesn't have the stamina to run 3,000 meters. That's why we couldn't really go anywhere. But in a shorter race, half the distance, I think she'll be able to make it. And like I said, with the proper endurance and with a good acceleration so she can get out when the gate pulls off and we can get her established, hopefully we can get her in a good position, and I think she'll be able to hopefully save some ground. So I'm confident that we'll be able to do well with both of these horses. I'm not saying they're going to be great champions or anything. They're literally starter horses and they're listed. They're not even Group 3. So I believe we'll eventually get a win with both of these at some point. We'll just have to monitor. And that's also a thing I like about this game. You guys saw the meter for the stamina. I don't know why they took that away. If Horse Racing Manager 2 had that same meter where you could monitor your speed just by using the mouse to click on the speed for, acceleration or deceleration, that would be fantastic. That would make the Harness Horse Racing and Horse Racing Manager 2 so much more doable, having that meter. Like I said, there's certain things that they took out of that game that were in this game that to me made things much more fluid and smooth. I don't know why they took some things out. I'm assuming obviously not everybody that worked on this game worked on the second game, even though it's still from Cyanide, the same company. But there definitely had to have been some different people involved, and maybe they, for whatever reason, decided to opt out of it. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. Appreciate love and support on the channel. We will be back here with Horse Racing Manager 1 as we try to get we're trying to get in the money. We'll worry about a win once we actually get in the money for one of our races, and it'll happen soon. Like I said, Run for Whiskey, we got all his preferences laid out. We just broke with him. Otherwise, we could have had a pretty good finish. And Z Alpine, we just got to run her in a shorter race. We still got to figure out her preferences as well, which we have nothing figured out yet. So I'm actually going to have to make that a priority. So preferences right now. We'll do preferences for the rest of the month of April, because I don't even think she's going to be able to run in another race until like June or July. So we'll be training both of these horses. It's kind of going to be what a lot of our time is going to be spent. But like I said, it's going to be worth it, because expenses, we're only spending, I think, let's see, how much? Our total expenses weekly are only $3,000, which is fine. So even, I mean, at the end of the month, you're talking about you're losing about $12K. We're going to enter our horses in a race about once a month, so hopefully, if we're able to finish in the money, we'll be able to win back at least 25% or more of whatever our weekly expenses were. And like I said, if it comes down to it and we can't ever win, we'll eventually take out a loan. But I'm confident we'll eventually do well with one of these two. Probably Run for Whiskey first, and we'll be able to make something happen with there. Appreciate your love and support on the channel as always. And until next time, Horse Racing Gamer signing out. I'll be all have a great and fantastic day. See ya, and goodbye.